and welcome to the Zoli Mamzel Podcast with Magali
and Hansini, where we have thought-provoking conversations about journeys, life, and much more. Catch our latest episodes every Monday.
Thank you for tuning in, and we hope you enjoy.
So today we're going to be talking about what we've learned post-uni. So both Max and I have graduated university. We graduated in 2019, July 2019, and we're currently October 2020. So it's been a bit over a year since we've graduated. And I think that year has been a massive learning curve for both of us. And I think it's a massive learning curve for a lot of other people out there.
Mm-hmm.
So we wanted to take some time to reflect on that journey. We're back in our university city, so we thought, why not?
Yeah.
What better way to reflect?
So we just came up for the weekend, sort of visiting a friend. But coming here, we sort of reflected on we learned our coming out of uni and like all the stuff that we want to sort of communicate to other people, because I feel like a lot of people just don't talk about what happens after uni. Like people just, deal with the stuff, but it's really important to talk about. So you have an idea sort of when you come out of uni, what it's like and our experiences or other people's experiences. Yeah, so I think
everyone has different experiences. This is just based on ours. First thing you learnt.
So first thing I learned was, I went through was literally feeling so much pressure coming out of it. I feel like I put a lot of pressure on myself, but there were so many other pressures, like from family, and I was sort of always thinking about, what are people going to think, like my friends. I just thought I had like a big expectation to fill, but it's like coming out of uni, like it's okay to sort of step back and just to think about what you want to do next.
But what do you think, like when you say pressures, do you mean for what? Like what, like was it mostly around jobs, or was it around your next steps? Like did you feel like people expected you to have a plan instantly about the next couple of years?
Yeah, so when you finish uni, literally the first question people are going to ask is, so what's next? And then you're literally expected to have like a full-blown answer, but realistically you don't, because coming out of uni, you literally like you have to start from the start, and sometimes you don't even want to do the job that you thought you did. So I feel like the pressure comes from like yourself, because you literally go through uni, you think, like by the time I finish uni, I'm going to figure life out. But realistically, when you come out, it's not that simple.
Yeah, no, that's so true. Because the other thing I was going to add is, I think everything you work from school is leading up to uni.
Yeah.
So there's that long-term goal.
The next step.
Yeah, there was always a next step, and eventually you knew you were going to go to uni and get a job, but no one thought past. Like no one really had a plan for after uni. I think the only thing is get a job and then go figure.
Yeah.
So I think then when you get the question of what's the next step when you're already done, it becomes a bit challenging of you're just thinking about what the actual fuck am I doing?
Yeah. So then, to answer that question, it was literally the pressure of like, what's the job? Like, where are you doing? What are you doing? What industry you're going into? Do you have a plan? It's a lot, because majority of the time you don't know, like you're still figuring it out.
I think another thing I want to say is, while you're at uni, a lot of people do rethink their degree or rethink their paths. But for me personally, and I don't know if this is the same for you, but it was kind of always about next step, i.e. next exam. Let me just get through this. It was a lot of survival rather than taking the time to pause and think, maybe I need to reconsider, or, like what's the next step? Like just sit down and think about future plans. Like I never really sat down my only future was kind of, let me get this degree done and then I'll figure.
Yeah, there was always the next steps whilst you were at uni. But then after, you've graduated, it's like, oh, what's the next step? And then obviously the next step is like job interviews. And that's when it really hit me. Like, what do I really want to do? Because when you go into a job interview, you have to give all the reasons why you want to be in this industry. Sort of, why why you're the best candidate. Because they will ask you, why do you want this job? That's literally when it hit me.
You.
Yeah.
No, I would say similar, but I think it only hit me that I need to actually stop and think about it actually while I was on the job.
Yeah.
For me, it was a bit different because it was kind of like, it was just a bit different. I got on the job and then I had time to think because you were doing it day to day. But that kind of brings us up to the second point, which is rediscovery.
So at uni, like there's so many distractions, and like you said, it's a bit like you're literally on survival mode. But then when you come out of uni, you're literally like a whole different person.
It feels like, like when you're in a book, like you're reading a book and you turn that page and it's blank. Literally. It's blank. There are so many possibilities, but at the same time, you need to figure out what you're actually going to start writing. It feels like a new chapter.
It is,
I think people say, yes, it's a new chapter, exciting. But with that comes a lot of, what are you going to fill the next chapter with?
Yeah, exactly. And because for most of us, like we move back home and it's like you have to, figure out a routine, like your new routine, because it's not like, oh, you can't just hit your friends up, because it becomes hard because everyone's moved back home, or like people have gone their separate ways. Like we have international friends as well.
Yeah.
Some moved back home to their country, and it's like, oh my, like who am I? You literally like, who am I now?
I know.
Because the people you spent 3 years with, like, that's the people who sort of that know you, like your housemates know, what you're like, the way you live. But then when you move back home, it's like you have to readjust to your family and their way of living. So like you're like readjusting to them, readjusting to yourself. Because at uni, I feel like sometimes, like for me, I didn't really like take care of my mental health. That was like the last thing, because I was always like, oh, what's next assignment? And then we were involved in a lot of society work as well. So like for me, mental health was literally like, I just did not take care of it. And then together with pressure, I was literally like at the lowest point I've ever been, and that's when I literally had to take this step and figure out like, how am I going to deal with this? Because the people around you, that you were there with for 3 years are not there anymore. So it's like adjusting to a new circle, even though if it's your family.
It's completely a new circumstance, because I think when you're at uni, you're really in a safety bubble, and you've created that safety bubble over 3 years. Like, yes, when you start first uni, it's all amazing. Like, it's all kind of, it's all new, but eventually by the end of uni, you've created a safety net for yourself. And to now step out of that safety net and go to a different environment and just try to rebuild yourself. It's really about, who am I? Really thinking about what do I actually want to do?
Yeah.
What's my next vision? And all these things. And I think, like you said, friendship becomes a big thing as well, like maintaining friendships, reconnecting. It's completely new. It's a whole new chapter.
Yeah.
So that kind of leads then to the next part, which is embracing uncertainty. So while you're rediscovering yourself, you kind of come across this phase of you're not sure what's going to happen. And like Mag said, there's so many different aspects to your goals, like financial goals, health goals, career goals, personal goals, like mental health goals, because that's one thing we both realized, like, you can't just leave your mental health like at the bottom of the pile. It's going to catch up to you eventually and you burn out.
Yeah, and the more you literally ignore it, the more you stuff it down, it will catch up to you. So that's one thing I sort of had to learn, how to deal with mental health and how to sort of spot the signs to see like if I'm, not okay, like what can I do to sort of get myself back on track.
Yeah.
And that's really important, because the more you ignore it, the harder it is to get yourself out of that hole.
Yeah.
So bracing uncertainty is something you will definitely face, because it's like you think you want to do something, or like you think you want that job, but realistically when you go to interviews, sometimes you'll realize, oh, I don't actually want to do this. And then it's like, oh, but what do I want to do then?
I think the point is really, it's okay to question and rethink and change what you want. Not change what you want to do, but readjust your vision.
Yeah.
It's never a case of, oh, I don't want to do this, so I feel like a failure. It's always readjusting, and it's fine to be in a process of you're not actually sure. And another point I just kind of wanted to bring up is, a lot of times we compare ourselves with our peers because someone is doing better in one thing than another.
Yeah.
It's very easy to compare yourself.
We do it. Yeah. Everyone does it.
Yeah, everyone does it.
Yeah.
And I literally compared myself to so many people, thinking that I needed to reach that. I needed to reach this. When you're comparing yourself with 10 people that are all doing amazing in 10 different things, it doesn't work, because then you don't really focus on what do you want. What do you want?
You're literally chasing someone else's dreams, and you think you want that, but it's not actually what you need or actually really want.
Yeah.
And how many, like, we have so many friends that sort of got the dream job, but then actually when they got into it, so many of our friends are sort of changing careers. Yeah, like so many people, they've done one degree, gone into a job, realized no, completely different change, like they just want to change career. And I think it's fine to have that point and to just think about what you want. And one thing you need to realize is what is important to you is not important to someone else. Yeah, exactly.
That's one thing that I've learned. Like, just because something is, important to someone else doesn't mean that's the mark of success. Like, you need to think about truly, what does your circumstance allow you? What's the next thing that will actually make you happy and actually make you successful? Because if you're always putting the benchmark, like this, I don't know, like
someone else.
Yeah, like buying a car.
Based on someone, yeah.
Buying a car, doing this degree, you're always going to feel like a failure because it doesn't even align to you. It doesn't even match what you truly want. Yeah, you'll get that, but it will feel like such a drag to even get there.
Yeah, no, 100%. So it's really important to know that it's okay to not know what you want to do, like embrace the uncertainty, because we're living we're living in this sort of society that there are a lot of opportunities, and if you really want to go after something, like you literally just need to put in the hard work, and if you're passionate about it, it's definitely possible. Like, I think that's one thing also that I've learned, or also had to learn, was to literally block out the noise, like the white noise, like or the people saying, like, if you want to change industry, for example, people will say, oh, but why do you want to do that? Like, you'll spend another, couple of years in something new. But it's like, it's what you want to do. So it's like, you have to block that out, because they're not in your place. They don't know like what you want. So
do you know what? This really resonates, because a lot of times when I would tell people, oh, I'm doing this degree and I'm going to get into this job, it would be like, oh my God, that's amazing. Like, you're doing really well. Day to day, that's like 30-second conversation.
Yeah.
That's a 30-second conversation. You are living, breathing this role in a way. It doesn't matter what people say, because you're the one that's having to carry it out.
Yeah. And don't let other people's expectations of you like get you down, or like go based off of, oh, they want that for me, but they don't know what's good for you. Only you know, and only you know how you feel when you're chasing after your dream, or when you're in that role.
I think when you're younger, it's really easy to kind of fall into those expectations. Like, I clearly remember this, like year 12, year 13, everything that anyone said around me, I would take that on board. And my opinion of what I wanted to do was the last thing I actually considered.
Yeah.
Like every fact that came my way, I'd be like, oh crap, I need to rethink. But now I think that's one thing you learn over time. It's no matter what people say to you, how committed are you to making this happen?
Yeah.
And I see every negative thought I see is if I can battle that and I can block it out, that's one step
forward.
Yeah. One step forward, one step closer.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And also don't let that age thing get to you as well. So if you what I mean is, like, if you want to do another course, some people will be like, oh, but you'll be like 26 when you come out of it. Like, so what?
Do you know what? It's actually really crazy because I think people always say, but what I just thought of this point where, like, when we were at uni, a lot of people thought about uni years as a lot. Like, I don't know, if you were doing a 5-year course, oh my God, that's a lot. But what I realized is no matter what your role you get in, you're always going to have to learn.
Yeah.
There is very few roles where you get in and you stay stagnant.
Yeah.
Okay, nursing, you get in, you still have to take a test every once in a while. Like, you still have to keep yourself updated within your own role. That's still learning. It's constant. I don't know. If you get into finance, we're both in finance. We finished our degree. We're still studying. Yeah. We're working and studying.
And you learn on the job as well.
Yeah.
Like,
it's constant.
It's constant learning. So people who are like, oh, but you'll come out, old when you finish that second degree or whatever, but regardless, you're learning something that will get you closer to what you want.
Yeah.
So it's like, block out the noise.
Period. No, definitely. Yeah. And I think it's a skill, but yeah.
It's a process.
And I think that gets us to the next point, which is cutting yourself slack. You're not going to have everything figured out at all times.
Yeah.
Cut yourself slack. You join a new job, you're not going to be perfect overnight. Your financial goals you're not reaching it overnight. Your health goals.
Yeah. Oh, let's not talk about health goals because that takes
But the thing is that same way that takes a lot of time, and you accept that it's going to take a lot of time, you need to also accept your career goals, your day-to-day goals are going to take time, and it's not going to be a smooth sailing,
it's literally a gradual curve.
Yeah. So you just cut yourself slack. And I think, so for me personally, when I left uni, because I was in such a comfort bubble, when I left, I just had this question mark of like, who am I? What am I doing? What do I want to do?
Yeah.
And I gave myself like so much, like, I don't know, I just put myself under so much pressure to have everything figured out and just be constantly moving about doing this, because at uni, you build that you're able to time manage everything. You're able to do 10 things in one day. And then you start a job. And I would do a 9 to 5. By 8, I couldn't do anything else. I couldn't even meet friends because I was so tired. So it's about cutting yourself slack no matter what you're doing. Understanding that if you're starting a new journey, it's going to take you time to adapt.
Yeah, no, 100%.
So I personally feel like when you start something new, you need to wait for that to stabilize, get hold of it, and then you add something else.
Yeah.
Don't try to add too many things.
Yeah, no, take it one step at a time. And just focus on yourself and what you want. Yeah.
Like, start with what is the most important to you. And then once that's stabilized, next important thing, third important thing,
But I hope you enjoyed that. I'm going to wrap it up here.
Yeah. So 4 key points, Mags, go.
Don't submit to your own pressures. It's okay to it's okay to rediscover yourself, to start from zero, because it's a process. Embrace uncertainty. It's okay to not know what you want to do, and cut yourself some slack. You've made it. You've made it out of uni. It's okay. Everything's going to be okay. Like, every obstacle that you've gone through has been a learning experience, and it's just keep going forward.
Yeah, definitely. So let us know what you guys think, what have been your learning curves post-uni, whether you're 1 year graduate, like you graduated a year ago, 2 years ago, 5 years ago, whatever it is. We'd want to know how your learning curves have been and your opinions. It's always great to know what people learn through different experiences.
Yeah, because our experience could be different to, other people's experiences, or would love to hear if it was similar, and let's have a conversation about it.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening to this episode.
We hope you enjoyed our content. You can reach out to us on Instagram at Zoli.Mamzel and keep up to date with our latest adventures.
Wishing you a wonderful day. Here's to you keeping your head up and winning. Lots of love, Zoli Mamzel.